On June 24th, 2024, like is usually the case for the Neat Intel project, a 12-hour stream was set up to run overnight. Unfortunately, as sometimes happens, the SDR froze during the stream, and since I was away from my computer, I wasn't available to reset it and keep the stream going. Now, when this happens, rather than leave up on the channel a stream that is mostly a frozen screen for hours at a time, I typically take the stream down and re-upload the interesting bits onto the project channel later on. We had a few interesting communications on the HFGCS overnight, so this video includes one excerpt from that stream and a little bit of context and commentary for you.
Mainsail, this is Hawkeye on 11175. How copy my station? Over. Hawkeye, this is Banger 32. Have you loud and clear on 11175. Banger 32, this is Hawkeye. I have you Lima Charlie as well. Thank you for the radio check. Over. Hawkeye, Banger 32. Happy to help. Thanks for the radio check for us as well.
Now, as fun as it is to make everything a Metal Gear Solid codec conversation, it can also be a little bit time-consuming, which is why I don't always do that. Although I will say it's probably helpful to at least a few of you in terms of keeping track of the different voices and operators and so on. Now, as far as what we just heard, Hawkeye was the operator of the Mercury E6. Most of you should by now be familiar with the fact that the E6s are part of the U.S. Navy Strategic Communications Wing 1, which has a primary mission of receiving, verifying, and retransmitting EAMs. And that's usually why we hear them on this project as part of monitoring the HFGCS. Now, Hawkeye at this time, as we later will figure out, he was attempting to contact one of the HFGCS ground stations to request a phone patch, and in a future recording, you will hear that phone patch acted on and the entire contents thereof. But instead of a ground station answering, we just heard Banger 32 respond. It seems like they assumed the Hawkeye was simply requesting a radio check, and Banger 32 was very happy to oblige them. That kind of thing happens every now and again. Now, some of you might actually be curious here and ask, well, who's Banger 32? I haven't cited it on this channel in a while, but there is a list managed by a hobbyist, Ron, and what that list is it compiles a number of call signs used by U.S. military assets over the radio, and what you'll figure out is they're all kind of purpose-built. Now, in the case of the Banger call sign, the list includes two possibilities. One, if you hear someone using the Banger call sign over shortwave radio, it could be an F-16, which is coming out of the 116th Fighter Squadron in New Jersey, or it could be an E-2 from the U.S. Navy's Airborne Command and Control Squadron, VAW-117. Now, the SDR that captured this conversation was located in California, and since it got good reception of both ends of that conversation and some other SDRs located elsewhere in the country, not so much. It's not that it completely rules out the possibility of the F-16s. They don't have to only be in New Jersey. Obviously, they can fly around. But that and several other points of context later in the night, etc., will point us more towards the idea that it is an E-2. Now, what's interesting about hearing an E-2 on the HFGCS is that it might have deployed with the USS Abraham Lincoln, which at the time, it was located off the coast of California. And as we all know, on the night of June 4th, the USS Abraham Lincoln was destroyed by a Russian military attack, which set off World War III. What? No, I know that's not what happened, but this is YouTube. Well, yeah, but if I say what everyone knows is true, then I don't get any clickbait viewers, and then the channel won't grow. Okay, but credibility doesn't pay the bills, and it's not like a lack of credibility is hurting any of the other guys. Passive-aggressive griping at the absolute state of YouTube aside, there were two other interesting communications on the HFGCS that were captured during the HFGCS overnight stream that I've taken down, and those will be made available on the channel at a later date. One is the phone patch we've been talking about, and the second is another communication between Hawkeye and Banger 32 that, while brief, could be informative. Those recordings will be uploaded as separate videos on this channel at a later date. Stay tuned!